Do your introduction.
Welcome to Just Cop. This is episode primero, number 1.
Who you clapping for? You clapping for yourself?
Clapping for us.
Oh, okay. I guess that is exciting. Clapping for us. So what are we clapping for? Why are we here? What are we talking about?
This is Just Cop, the podcast, the e-commerce podcast.
And e-commerce podcast.
And e-commerce podcast brought to you by us, the deals.
So we can say this is Just Cop, an e-commerce podcast presented by July 5, which is you and I,
so why
and our agency. I am saying it. Why are you messing me up? Okay. This is Just Cop, an e-commerce podcast presented by July 5. July 5 is you and I, and the agency that we are in business as, I can say. So.
All right, hold on. I'm Kevin Deal.
I was going to say, introduce yourself.
That's me.
Okay. And I'm Lauren Deal. And this is our first episode. So on this podcast, we'll be talking about different topics pertaining to branding, web design, development, business strategy for Black e-commerce businesses.
Yes.
But all businesses really can benefit from the information. But for July 5, we found it important that our target audience is Black-owned businesses. So along with our commentary on current events and the world, we'll talk about our tech word of the day, stories about products that we just copped. So let's get into it.
Yes, let's get into it.
What is our tech word of the week? I said word of the day, it's word of the week.
The tech word of the week is call to action. You can read the definition.
Okay, a call to action is the text, banner, form, or image on a web page or email asking a visitor to literally take an action. Read more content, join an email list, sign up for a webinar, buy a product. CTAs are a marketing tool that converts web users into leads for businesses.
That's great.
What do you think about CTAs?
I feel like that is the superhero word. It's like a call to action or a first responders call to duty. It's like what is the action that needs to be done for me to either convert somebody into buying my product, subscribing to an email list, volunteering to, pass out frozen desserts, frozen desserts for the camp kids. Is a call to action that needs to be answered by who you want it to be answered by.
Yeah, I think it's important that we know that websites are used as a tool. Right, so if you have a website, you're using it for something. You want to educate people on something. You want people to, like you said, sign up for an email list so you can talk to them about something. You want them to be able to inquire about what it is that they come to your page for, whatever your business is. Or if you just have like a gallery, maybe you want people to donate, or you want people to apply to be in your online art gallery or whatever. It's the most important thing that you want people to do when they come to your website. And because it's the most important thing you want people to do, CCA should be prominent, and it should be the thing that is most important when you're planning what your website looks like. Is what is the call to action? What is it that you want people to do once they get here? A lot of times people put their call to actions very low on the website.
That's the biggest thing I noticed on websites is you got to scroll before you see somebody's call to action. It's like, what am I on this page for?
Right. And it's like the call to action should be prominent. It should be one of the first things people see, because people spend about 15 seconds on a page, on a section, before they decide if they're going to keep going through the page or if they're going to go somewhere else. So you need those 15 seconds to really catch people, and a CTA should do it. What are some things that you think make a CTA good?
A good CTA, like you said, prominent. It should be like bold colors, bright orange is my favorite, bright blue. I mean, your brand colors are your brand colors, but whatever you have that's bright, that should be the color of your button.
Yeah.
What are some other tips?
I think making sure that the color of the text within your button is a color that contrasts well with the color it's up against. Like if you have a really, really bright blue and against a white, that's not going to be, people can't really see that. Especially if they have like any issues with seeing color, being colorblind, things like that. The readability on those colors aren't easy. So making sure that the color, the text color and the button color contrast in a way that it's easy for people to read, so that they know what it is that they're reading.
Right. When it's easy to read, you want it to have like action language, like click here for more, or tap here to subscribe, or punch, you know, action words. I mean, you might be selling boxing gloves, and it's like call to action, punch to purchase or something.
Punch to purchase. Okay. Another thing about buttons are, like you said, they should be prominent. So prominent means big. And the text should fit nicely within the button. It shouldn't be too small, and it shouldn't be too big. You said too tight?
Yeah, too tight, like your button. The words are in the middle of the button, but the top of the button is on the top of the letters. It's like a button's too small. It needs some padding.
Yeah, the text needs some padding. Those kinds of things. I think those are really helpful with CTA. I know on our page, our CTA was peep this, and we're going through like some redefining of those things. But I think it's also important to know that when you have a brand or a business that you're starting, it's new, right? Like a new baby. And so as the baby grows, you know the baby better. The baby has more personality. Like the baby has done things now that you can track. Right. So you just get to know it better, and you're able to express it better to other people.
Yeah, maybe peep that. Or peep this isn't working anymore.
Right.
Started running.
Right. When we were babies, peep this was all right. But now that we're not, we're still in the infant phase, but not as baby. Then you know.
We're like a big grown infant.
Like Benjamin Button.
Yeah.
So let's get into these current events.
This is my favorite part. I think this is what I've been waiting for. That's why I got my notes.
Right, you got your notes like you're about to read
the morning announcements.
The morning announcements.
So in
at
today's
elementary
news,
school.
Trump has been permanently banned.
No, this is my part.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, free.
Not free.
You free and AJ.
You don't have the locks. I got the free hair color, but you got the locks.
All right, go ahead, free.
Okay, so we know that everything has been happening at the Capitol. MAGA was MAGA-ing and did all that they did last week. And so now all the social media sites, a lot of web presence, internet sites are responding to this whole insurrection, which I think is it was just a crazy thing. But with that, Shopify permanently banned all Trump e-commerce stores following the riots.
What was Trump even selling?
Well, I don't think it was Trump's sites. Like, I don't think it was Donald Trump. I don't think he had an e-commerce site. I think it was businesses that were selling MAGA merchandise or Trump merchandise that were shut down.
Cool.
What do you think about that?
I think they did the right thing a little 4 years too late.
I think it's definitely 4 years too late. Like, Trump was cool when he was just when you fired.
Yeah, you're fired.
The Apprentice.
The Apprentice.
Yeah, I think he was cool when he was doing that. And then he became president.
When he was on reality TV.
Yeah, when he was a reality star, I was cool with him.
I wasn't cool with him.
Well, I wasn't cool with him because he still did what he did to Central Park 5.
We're not about to go into that, though.
Yeah, you don't have enough time and there's not enough space to go into that one. But I think it's just a little too late. Like, it doesn't mean anything anymore. It just looks like a whole bunch of people trying to cover their butt.
Twitter being one of them people trying to cover their butt.
Most certainly. Also, YouTube said they're banning him for 7 days, and I'm like, what is 7 days going to do?
To make him think about all the things he done for 7 days before he posted a YouTube. Was Trump on YouTube?
They said he had a channel.
Oh my God.
I didn't really watch his channel, but
yeah, we're gonna edit in the video something that was on Trump's YouTube.
Insert Trump's YouTube here. So I think it just, to me, so he was banned Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, Pinterest, Discord, all different kinds of places, and I just feel like we've been saying that this is going to happen for a long time, and people are just finally starting to listen.
Yeah, I know. I don't know, right? I heard a story.
Mm-hmm.
A friend of mine has a friend who has been reporting to Twitter every time Trump has broken the terms and conditions, and that has been going on for 4 years.
Wow.
And they're just finally deciding this term and condition is the one that's broke the camel's back.
But it's like, what is the term and condition?
What
is the procedure when you have a gun to you? Like, what is the term and condition that they're talking about? Which one did he fall under this time that he hadn't fall under all other times?
We need a research department. Somebody can Google what term and condition it was that the Donald broke.
So moving on past him, in other news, DraftKings will now allow betting on drone races in some states. And so I thought it was kind of funny, the states that they're now allowing.
What are the states?
Colorado, New Hampshire, West Virginia, and I think it's like maybe a few others. But to me, it's just like the people who watch drone races live in those states. I can see it.
I watched drone races one time on, I think it was like ESPN 2.
What?
Yeah, and it's neat.
It's on TV?
They was on TV, so I mean, it's just they consider it a sport, and so they letting people bet on it.
Okay. So, do people make these drones, or are these drones that are like?
I don't know about all that.
Because you know how like when people race cars,
yeah,
and they do their car, like they fix their cars up and they do all this stuff. Like, are they doing it to drones?
I'm sure. I don't know, but I would think that there's some of that going on, right? Or you could just buy the fastest drone and win the race.
But then everybody can buy the fast drone, man.
But you got to drive it, and I think that's where the skill is at, because I've tried to fly drones, and it's like you can easily crash a drone. And it's when they race, they got obstacles, they got dips, they got circles that you got to fly through.
No, it's like Quidditch.
The Quidditch Cup of drones. And so you got to race and you got to drive with skill, but I guess I might start betting on them. I don't know how you can see.
Pennsylvania was not one of the states that was allowed to bet.
We're next, probably, because once these esports, I don't know if you can bet on esports, but if you can bet on video games, then you can bet on drones. They got that new arena in Philly for e-games. I'm sure.
Did they build that yet?
They're building it.
Oh, okay.
And I'm sure that drone races is next for Pennsylvania. It's going to be medical marijuana. It'll be recreational marijuana and then betting on drones.
Okay. So the biggest drone of them all is Elon Musk's Starship.
That's the name. What's that song? Baby, my Starship.
I don't know that song.
Take me up tonight.
Who sings that song?
Don't be late. It's old school.
Oh, older than you?
Way older than me. That's like my parents' music.
So how do you know it?
Because that's what I grew up listening to.
So
you don't know Starship?
No, I don't know.
Cue Starship. Do we have the copyright?
No, we don't. So it says the founding ethos of Elon Musk's private spaceflight company, SpaceX, was to make life multi-planetary. Now I'm just going to say this. white people
Rich white people.
love the idea of living on another planet. Like, they have colonized Earth enough, and they have to go
Where can we go
intergalactic to go colonize new colonies where aliens and whoever else are living. And it's just like, who wants to live a multi-planetary life?
When you got that kind of money, it's like, what else should you do with it? I don't think I want to be that rich where I'm like, all right, next summer we going to Mars.
That is true. Rich people are bored. They're bored and they need something to do. And so space is the final frontier.
That's incredible. I will say, space travel is interesting, but I'm not about to volunteer.
Yeah, no.
The funniest thing I got from this story is one of his quotes. It says, history is going to bifurcate? I don't know what that means. Along two directions. So it's going to do two things. One path is we stay on Earth forever and there will be some eventual extinction event.
Well, the Bible predicts that.
Right.
So they try to escape that.
Yeah, I think we know that's going to come one day.
Oh, okay. They're trying to escape the rapture.
The alternative is to become a spacefaring civilization and a multi-planet species, which I hope you would agree is the right way to go. And I don't know who he was talking to when he said, I hope you would agree is the right way to go. Because I don't have no plans to be on planet Mars, planet Jupiter.
None of them planets.
And
what was the movie with Mark Wahlberg? Elysium. I have no desire to go to Elysium
even if Earth looked like it did, like when they were in LA in the ruins.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I'm gonna just wait to heaven's side
before you get to paradise.
Before I hijack a spaceship, because that's what he did. He hijacked the spaceship and flew the hoopty all the way to Elysium. And it's like, there's no way I'm about to do that.
The hoopty did get flown all the way to Elysium.
That's so funny.
And they were in danger of extinction on the hoopty.
Right.
But then, as movies go, something happened and they got through the barrier. But it's just wild to me that people are in a race to get to space. One, there has been no evidence.
Tom Cruise is one of them people.
Is he?
Yeah, they were trying to shoot a movie.
In space?
On the moon.
Oh, on the actual moon.
Yeah.
Why?
Because it's never been done before.
Again.
Star Trek.
Again, having too much time and too much money on your hands. And this is why we need an equal distribution of the world's finances. Because why do you have enough money that you want to shoot a film on the moon?
Yeah, whoever's shooting the film they got that credit to their name. It's like, yes, I was the director or I shot the film in Mars or on the moon.
Who cares?
Tom Cruise.
What kind of title is that to have?
Whoever put that money into it.
Can you imagine, like, you go to a conference and the bull's presenting and he has a little space outfit and it's his picture.
Steve Carell, was that show?
Oh, Space Force.
Space Force, yes. When they watch them dogs stranded.
I just can't imagine a world like that. But anyway, we'll let them have their multi-planetary life. I don't know that.
They can have that. I'm gonna watch it on CNN.
Right.
I'll be tuned in.
I'll watch it from the comfort of my very own home.
From this chair right here.
On my single planetary life called Earth. And I'm fine with that. First off, I just want to also say, it's not a first off. This is like a fifth off. Because we made a lot of points here.
We did.
We don't even take care of Earth well.
Right. Well, that's the plan. We're going to go to Mars and pollute it and pillage and all of that.
I just had to note that. We don't even take care of Earth well, and we're trying to go and conquer other planets. But it seems like right.
They like, Earth, we messed it up. We got to figure out somewhere else to go.
But it's like, are they going to do the same things they did to Earth?
If Elon Musk is leading the charge, probably not.
Oh yeah, that's true. He is on the environmental tip.
Yeah, most
Somewhat.
definitely.
From what I know. Now I'm no Elon Musk expert, but from what I know.
Oh, the rocket part of this shit. Guess what it's called?
What?
It's called super heavy.
Why'd you do your voice like that?
Because it's heavy. Super heavy.
It's super heavy. Okay, and that's what propels you into space.
Yeah.
And it falls off once you get into the.
And that's the starship is getting to the stars.
Oh, okay. Makes sense.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Thank you, Elon Musk, for being the guinea pig.
Thank you. I don't know if that's a thank you. If that's worth a thank you. I think it's a okay, cool. Maybe not a thank you though.
At least they not doing just calling people. What did they call it? A draft? Just drafting people to go in the ship.
Oh, that's true.
It's like at least it's not that.
I would not want to be a part of that draft.
Me neither. The right tool for the right job can make the job easy, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you have products that you're trying to sell, I think the perfect place to put your website is Shopify. I say that because that's what Shopify is for. It's not a place for websites. It's a place to sell products.
Yeah.
So if that's what you're doing and that's what you desire to do, I think Shopify is a good place to do that. I think they got a lot of free templates to use that are pretty good. I think the Shopify blog is good. You become a partner and they give you a bunch of tips on how to sell. Not just how to sell on Shopify, but just in general, like good business practice for your retail business. In the blog, I think that's a great resource for people to utilize.
Blogs are great for SEO.
Right, and I think that Shopify does a good job of like promoting your products and selling them. There's places like WordPress, right, where I've worked on projects that got really complex systems on it for all types of things, and WordPress works well for them. Is it the best for your e-commerce? I don't know. I know 70% of the web is on WordPress, so
that's a lot.
Yeah, so you don't have to worry about WordPress closing you down because they didn't ran out of money.
Right, close it up shop.
Getting ready to close your shop up. But I think if you're gonna pay for hosting, I think Shopify is probably the best option for you. What do you think are other questions people have about platforms?
So I know that there are platforms like Wix. There's a platform, Show It.
I don't know nothing about Show It.
It's more so it's one of those no code.
Yeah, that's cool, like Webflow.
Yeah, like Webflow. And so I think as a new person trying to get into a website, and I hear all those things, I might have a couple friends that are on Wix.
I know people on Wix.
And who are doing that. And so it's like, what are some of the advantages of Wix?
I know Squarespace. I don't really know about benefits from Wix. I think Wix and Squarespace are like nectarines and peaches. It's like
almost the same.
Almost the same. One's fuzzy.
Can't tell the difference when you eat it.
Yeah, can't tell the difference. I know Squarespace directly hooks up to Square, which is if you're swiping cards and using Square, that's probably the best place between the two of them for you because it makes transactions a lot easier in that place. But if you're a designer, I know a lot of designers that like to have blocks that they just put in places and design stuff really quickly. I know a lot of designers use Squarespace. So if you want to be able to find a designer, a Squarespace designer, there you can find them. Same with Webflow, same with Shopify, WordPress. Is like if you need developers or designers, you can find people. I'm not sure about Wix though. That's something maybe for another episode we do some studying.
Yeah.
On Wix. But I think if you're selling products and you need something that's ready to go, you go to is Shopify.
Yeah. I think it's also important to note that nothing is one size fits all on the web. And I think that a lot of times you have to think about what are the exact problems that you need solutions for, and then what is your best solution. And so what worked for your friend might not work for you.
Most likely will not work for you.
Because...
And probably not working for you.
Because they have different business problems.
Right.
So it's important, even when you're talking to somebody who is going to do the site for you, if they do the same, if they only do one type of site, for, let's say, every single issue, or they only, design sites that look very similar, then you can kind of tell that they're not designing for solutions. They're designing for aesthetic. And I think that...
I don't think there's anything wrong with that, because that might be the place that your business is in.
Yeah.
It's like I need something.
Right.
I need something that this person provides, and that's a website.
Right.
It's like they might provide the same website for a bunch of people, but it's like that's what you need. They probably, because they do it that way, they probably got a set price that you can work with. Where the more complex stuff costs complex money, complex budget.
Yeah, and your website should grow with you as your business grows.
Absolutely.
So it should never be, you should never think of your website as once you have it, then it's complete for the rest of time.
Right.
Because as your business grows, you'll get new business problems.
6 months ago, we made a website.
Yeah.
And 6 months later, we are redesigning that website.
Yeah, very much so, because we just needed something at the time. Not something that took ages or months to put out there.
It didn't take long.
They always should say your first thing should be that you put out there should be embarrassing. And I don't think that the site is embarrassing. I think you did a good job on it for...
I don't think I'm embarrassed by it now.
Yeah.
6 months later.
I think 6 months later, it doesn't reflect where we have grown to.
Right.
But it served its purpose, and now we're changing it around. But that's not to say 6 months from now, it could grow and it could be something different, and we need something. And so web design shouldn't be, or your website shouldn't be something that you just do once, and as you grow, you just add new products, or you just paginate the pages or anything like that. It should be something that you're going back to the drawing board and is like, does this fit where we are? And if not, maybe we should revamp it. Because I think you said the other day, and I heard Mr. Wonderful on Shark Tank say the same thing. E-commerce has grown by, in the midst of these last 9 months, 5 years worth of growth.
Right.
And so we're seeing the future.
We blinked, and Jeff Bezos became the richest man in a blink of an eye.
Yeah, and continues to do so because the economy kind of shut down. You weren't able to go into retail places, and so e-commerce was running the show. And I think a lot of people saw how e-commerce is the future now.
Yeah.
And so because of that, there's going to be so many things that are changing. So, I mean, if you look at the web when it started, maybe, 30 years ago?
Yeah, give or take.
Websites look so much different now than they did then. Right? And there's just so many different phases that it has gone through. And we can only imagine for that to go through more and more phases. And so what is a way that people can kind of write down their problems to see what solutions they need?
Kind of write them down?
Yeah, so, they may say, okay, well, I'm selling lashes, but I also have a lash studio. So I need a place that I can sell the lashes, but I can also schedule appointments for the studio. And so how should they kind of go about writing down their problems and maybe prioritizing them to find out what platform?
I think the first step is what you said, is like write those problems down.
Yeah.
It's like write down the things that you think are blocking you. Write down your blockers, right?
Blockers to what?
To what is blocking you from doing what you got to do.
What is what you got to do?
Selling lashes, if that's what you want to do. If you want to sell lashes, what is in the way of you doing it? Is the coronavirus in the way of you selling your blockers? But I'm sure if you got a salon in this coronavirus, and you got people coming to your salon to do it, then maybe coronavirus is not
a blocker.
Right. But what are the things that are in the way of you selling your lashes? Do you need a store? Probably not, because I don't know how much. What do you think lashes? What's the market for lashes?
You mean like a physical store?
Yeah.
I don't know. People, listen, the market for lashes is hot.
I'm sure. I don't know.
Because you're not a woman.
Mine on fleek.
You got the natural lashes.
Natural fleeks.
No, women are buying lashes. It's a huge industry. It is, I'm sure, going to just continue to grow as they come up with different ways for you to apply lashes and do lashes.
This is why I asked you, because I don't know.
Yeah, so they probably might need a physical store. But I'm talking more about like problems that need digital solutions.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I think the first thing you do is put it on a website, right?
Put what on the website?
Your product.
Mm-hmm.
Like a Shopify or Webflow Commerce. And I think that's the first place to start.
So, but how are they knowing? I'm talking about, how do they decide what platform to put it on? So they come up with their list. They come up with their list of business problems that they have.
Yeah.
And solutions that they need, right? So how do they then kind of determine or interrogate the different platforms?
To me, I'm gonna look in the camera. Where's my camera? Put it on Shopify. I feel like that's the best place. Get a template on Shopify. You can change your brand colors. It's easy to do that. I hope you got a logo. If you don't have a logo, get a logo. Come up with a brand direction before you do all of that. Honestly, that's the first step. It's like, what's the story behind your lashes? Why do I need to buy your lashes and not homegirl around the corner that got them? I think that brand story, and you need to be able to tell that story on your website. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what sells, is like people buy your story and then they buy your product.
Yeah, that's true. I think those are all very, very helpful things. I think that in the journey of trying to decide what you need your website for, because this is an e-commerce podcast, right? I think that especially as you're starting out, and even as you grow, because you have Shopify Plus that, companies who are doing big numbers, they go through Shopify Plus. There are other places like...
on Shopify Plus.
Is she?
Skims, right? That's her?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So there's other places like Craft, WooCommerce, those kinds of things, but that takes a lot of technical undertaking, because a lot of it is all by scratch. Custom code. When things break, there's no easy solutions. There are, you have to be in constant, on a constant retainer with a development agency.
Yeah, I think a common thing with WordPress people run into issues is the updates that you need to do, and then people hacking your site. Because of that, I think that's a downfall to a Webflow. But if you have a good developer,
WordPress.
not Webflow, WordPress. That's what I meant. if you have a good developer, they can help you to avoid all of those pitfalls.
Yeah. So it's as you start out and even as you grow, I think Shopify, they have a lot of plugins that are easy to use. They have ShipStation now is one of Shopify's plugins that they work with, and it works seamlessly, and you're able to get your stuff not just bought, because you got to think about the logistics of how are you going to get,
how you ship,
how are you going to ship, how are you going to get things to people, and labels and all of those things. So there's a lot of logistics to think about when you're opening your store, starting your store, and I think Shopify is a good platform to use. I think that unless you're getting into some real complex stuff, I
think a good story is a company, right, that's not their main money maker might be client services or something, and they decide they want to put their website on WordPress, but then they have merch they want to sell. Maybe Shopify isn't the best for them because they're not really focused so much on selling products,
right?
But they do have merch, and WordPress is really good to like create these complex systems without using templates, because the template you get isn't that complex, but you can get a good Shopify developer that can grow and build off of those templates for you. But I think, like I said, the right tool will make the job the right job, or whatever job it is. You got to find the right tool for that job.
Yeah. Any last words or thoughts about platforms that
Nope.
people can use? All right, cool. That takes us into the last part of our podcast.
Yeah. What part is that, babe?
Just Cop Story Time.
Ladies first.
Story time.
Sing it.
Just Cop Story time.
This is recorded, so this is about to be the jingle, baby.
Jingles 2000. Okay, so just cop story time is when we're going to talk about different items that we just copped. And we are not going outside, so this is all stuff that we cop online, e-commerce. And we just want to talk about just different products that we get from Black-owned companies, and companies or artists, creatives, authors, anything that we just cop from Black people. I think that's the key word. Just cop from Black people, and just talk about the product, our experience with it, what we think about it, and if we felt like the cop was worthwhile. So I'll start.
Go ahead.
So I have been on this skincare journey lately.
And your skin glowing.
Thank you. And so I've been trying to do clean beauty products, meaning like products that don't have like parabens and sulfates and all of those things that are actually kind of toxic to us. And I've been trying to wean myself. So I've used Proactive for a long time because I have had acne.
I've also used Proactive.
Yeah, my Proactive.
Right.
I've had acne issues for a very long time, and it's off and on. I do notice though when I try to wean myself off of the Proactive, I tend to get really bad breakouts. So I have been trying to invest in a lot of clean beauty products so that when I do wean myself off of the Proactive, maybe I can combat it with some of these other products.
Yeah.
And so because of the natural benefits that they have, and because I believe in like what did we do before we had all of these chemicals and stuff, I want to like be on that wavelength.
I don't know.
So one of the products that I did get was the Even Tone Super Glow Serum from Urban SkinRx.
That's great.
Right. And so this is it's a serum. It's like a vitamin C serum. It's for brightening and anti-aging, and it's an antioxidant powerhouse. So I put it on twice a day, once in the morning, once at night, and it's just a few drops. And if you see, and it's like orangey, so you can, I feel like it makes me feel like it came straight from an orange,
yeah,
which we know
fresh
vitamin C to like come from. And I've been loving it. It has a little weird smell to me.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's just like the smell of it being natural, or it's just a little weird.
I feel like when you say natural, like it just sometimes got a scent.
Natural does have a scent sometimes.
I don't know I don't know how to describe it. I'm not about to insult people's stuff.
No, but this
has a scent.
This is really good, and it's Urban SkinRx is a Black-owned company. It's melanin experts, so I think it's important when
to go to the expert.
But when doing skincare, anything, different skin has different issues or
Clearasil is not the melanin expert.
Clearasil is definitely not the melanin expert. But I've been enjoying using it, and I do feel very dewy after. I've been going for dewy means like moist. No. Moist, like I feel like my skin feels supple and like kind of like not sticky in a bad way, but sticky and like it's moisturized and all those things. And so I've really enjoyed it.
Me too.
You too? You've been using my stuff?
No, I enjoy it on you.
Oh, okay. I appreciate that. And I'm going to keep using it, and so hopefully I'll keep with the updates. But I'm really happy with this purchase, and I will definitely purchase again once it runs out.
That's great. Shout out to SkinRx.
Urban SkinRx.
Urban SkinRx.
Yes.
Got it. Good. My turn.
So what's your cop?
Well, this I didn't really cop this. Somebody copped this for me.
Yes.
Get
Your sister.
This. My sister. Shout out to Taylor. All the cameras got me. If you know me, you know that Michael Jackson is the king of pop, and I love Michael Jackson. I danced Michael Jackson at our wedding.
Yes.
I would dance right now, but I'm probably going to put that on OnlyFans or something. Let somebody pay for that. She copped me this for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
It's Thriller, so it's like I can't give it a good enough review. It's like it is. It say on here the world's biggest selling album of all time. So, it's Thriller.
Thriller Manila.
If you don't have this vinyl, you see a record player. We like I don't know. I guess it's nostalgia, right? Or it's a different sound too. But if you don't have Thriller, cop that. Another one. This is what I copped, and I guess this is what I get, without doing research and copping. This is the Temptations Christmas card, right?
Why are you saying it like that?
My favorite Christmas song is the Temptations' Silent Night. And if you don't know the rendition, Google that. I ain't about to sing it. And I thought it was on this record. I Googled, what record is Silent Night on? And Silent Night is on this record, but it's the traditional Silent Night. And it's not the version I think everybody knows. So, though I do love the Temptations, and I do love Silent Night, this cop, I don't know what to say about it. It's not.
I was so hurt when I heard the traditional Silent Night.
My feelings was hurt, and I had to really process my feelings about it. They got hurt.
I was really hurt when I heard
You listened to it first, didn't you?
Babe, you keep interrupting me.
I'm sorry.
I was really hurt when I listened to it, and it was not the Silent Night that I know the Temptations to do. It was the traditional Silent Night, and I thought maybe that
it was gonna switch up.
Yeah, I thought the real Temptations Silent Night was gonna come on the B side. Yeah, and I turned it around, and it was just more
tragic.
Traditional Christmas songs.
Which is nothing wrong with it, but that's not what we wanted.
It's not. No, we wanted to hit my mind. I wanted to hear that, and that did not come through at all.
I didn't even listen to it. Once you told me it wasn't on there, I'm like,
you didn't listen to it after that, and so
no spins from me.
If anybody's interested in a Temptations Christmas card vinyl, we will be giving it away.
I'm not shipping it. You're gonna have to come get it.